So my presentation, I don't have an outline, but this is my plan to speak around these words: policy, mining, women, inclusion, diversity, sustainability. Okay, so basically diverse teams drive creativity and innovation. And when we speak about creativity, it does not just affect your final product, but your processes and other business practices at your workplace. And diversity also affords improved and better safety procedures in mining. And I have read some research that has said that a lot of improved and better safety procedures on mining sites have come about and have been attributed to the arrival of women in the workforce in certain mining countries and jurisdictions. Diversity also creates a healthier resource base of skills and leadership. It can help you surpass your current levels of performance in safety, health, and wellness. It also helps you grow public and shareholder confidence in a sustainable mining industry. It was earlier said, there is a low number of women in mining. And what are some of the reasons? There are low numbers of girls that take up the STEM subjects. Mining is not even a choice for those who do take up STEM. As we know, even in my own house, when my sister decided to follow my dad in doing science, engineering was not one of them. She ended up as a doctor. You can't actually, say I want to be, it's very rare. I can't even remember anybody in my class when I was growing up saying that they want to work in mining. There are a lot of, what are some of the reasons? Like was said earlier, there are a lack of women in mining role models, or a lack of visibility of those who are already there for aspiring students to even consider that as an option. Working conditions on exploration and mining sites were not conducive. Of course, this situation has changed and is greatly improved. Work-life balance with our cultural roles as homemakers and biological nature of reproduction, usually it's a problem. Pregnancy, menstruation, childbirth, which results in, losing time from work. These are real-life issues that we need to accept. Business people just need to accept, and we need to find ways around these. But the narrative is changing. And between 2010 and 2015, female enrollment at UMAT, there were about 10%. Or was it 50? 10% of the population at UMAT was female. And I think that is a good sign. But one of the problems is that when these ladies complete school, getting jobs is a bit difficult. And, it's very sad every time somebody, I did this geomatic engineering, geotechnical, but then they don't get jobs. So what we at Women in Mining would like to see is a mining policy that encourages the large-scale mining sector to dedicate a percentage quota for the employment of professional females. Why? Because we know that the ladies are playing catch-up. And some parents are usually discouraged because they know that a lot of companies will not employ females. If they have the option of males, they definitely don't want to employ females. But we have to face this problem, and I think that a policy level action is something that would encourage parents and even the females themselves to regularly undertake technical sector training. Sometimes some people say that female workers are lazy. I've heard that several times. I've worked in the industry and in exploration especially for a long time. And sometimes what I say is that if you have an exploration team of 20 people, and out of that 20 people, only one person is female, and that particular lady is lazy, it's not fair to brand the whole female population as lazy. There are men, I know men who are also lazy. You see them, they are wearing the dirtiest overall. Yeah, they are working, and you think that they are working, but most of the time they are not even working. Anyway, the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development states that Building a future where no one is left behind. That is what the UN is saying. The need for gender inclusion and diversity is not a personal or a community or a national choice anymore. It is the choice of the world. It is the choice of reality. That is where we are now. So it has become pressing for even small businesses to have diversified work teams. The world of business has a stake in building inclusive teams and thus helping to combat discrimination in the work environment on all levels. So ethnic, race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, and disability, amongst others. These are things that are happening in the world, and it's something that is going to happen in Ghana, and we have to plan for it. Apart from the fact that we have problems in the amongst workers and staff, on executive and board level as well, we have issues. The mining industry is struggling to create a more gender equal industry at executive and board level. And according to the pipeline from the UK, which released its 2017 report, they found out that executive committees of FTSE 350 companies had revealed that the mining industry appears to have regressed when it comes to women in executive roles since 2016. In 2017, only 16% of members on executive committees were women, the same percentage as in 2016. There is no sign of progress. Maybe we should take it like that. It didn't go back. Also, more companies have no women on their executive committees. They have no women executives holding roles which affect profit and loss responsibilities. Also, there are only 13% of mining companies in FTSE 350 that have executive committees which are at least 25% female. And 25% is already 12 points below the average. And according to a report by Women in Mining UK, 13% critical mass of women directors on boards has been found to have the most positive impact on company performance. I have no idea what the mining boards look like in Ghana. I'm hoping they don't look like that. But anyway, it's important that we look at leadership and executive roles in the sector as well. The mining sector has biases. It's difficult. Biases, we cannot overcome them over 24 hours or over a few years. And a lot of decisions will be taken in boardrooms. So it will be ideal for us to have inclusive boardrooms. And in the case of Ghana, I'll dare say for the mining sector, it should probably be gender, race, and disability. I think those are, the three key things that I think we should start appreciating and taking note of in Ghana. What are our recommendations? Support for gender-responsive planning, processes, and budgets to ensure government policies, revenues, and budgets reflect women's specific concerns. Include women in policy formulation as early as possible, and seek other ways to integrate gender into sector policies. When the African Mining Vision was launched, we were very, very, very sad to find out that they did not consider gender in extractives at all. And this is from the AU level. And so for the country mining vision, we complained, and we are hoping that the Minerals Commission has taken note of that, and there's going to be some changes. I mean, we get the argument that nobody has said that nobody should work in the sector. And so, it's not necessary to bring that point, but we all know that there is a problem. And so we have to make that special effort to take note of these. So what do I think that businesses can do? I think that what businesses can do is to increase the profile of women in their businesses. Employers could support on-site women in mining groups and provide formal mentoring and coaching for young women. Asanko is doing that. Businesses can brand the industry as safe, exciting, and environmentally responsible for the youth. Senior high school students can be on excursions to mine sites for a day in the life of a miner, field trips, so they can observe safe and environmental responsible practices. Businesses can also help workers move into mining from other industries in decline. A program where qualified female workers from other industries can make smooth transition into mining by highlighting the overlap of in skills and thereby providing workforce adjustment tools. Also, continuous collaboration between industry and academia to establish project workforce requirements. And this was also mentioned earlier on. It's very important that industry and academia keep talking so that they know exactly what skills are needed by the industry. As the gentleman from Anglo pointed out, I think that is a very important thing that we need to always continue doing, so that the women who want to enter can know which areas will be good for them. I also think that businesses can do is to work on baby-friendly facilities and negotiated work schedules for their female workers. I think that a lot of women who are having children will be even happy to be at a particular salary if they have these other options, so they can continue to work. And everybody knows that it's because this person is going through this, and some changes can be done and adaptations can be done. Bo was speaking about RSG. When I had my first child, I was allowed to bring my daughter to work. And you see the geologist carrying her all over the place. I mean, it helped me. I mean, there are lots of people who carried her. It helped me, and I had a room there, and I could breastfeed until she was able to go to nursery. I had her with me, and I could work. And I gave up my 3 months to do that. But I do not think that it has to be that way. I did it willingly anyway. But I think that such programs are helpful so that you can have more women in the industry, because you need them. What do I think will be life-changing for women in the sector in this country? I usually do not like affirmative action, and I heard somebody talking about affirmative action earlier. But I seriously think that quotas for employment for professional women in the sector is something that should be considered in our policy. I also believe that females who set up professional mine support companies should also be given a quota. This happens, both 1 and 2 is happening in South Africa, and it's working. Even if this can be done just for a period, or companies that have support mining companies and other companies that have female participation, they should be encouraged. There should be a policy that gives them something, I don't know, tax break, something to encourage this and get more women to work in the sector. Also, when we come to the boards, I think executive management and boards, all of that, there should be something in our policy. And the maternity leave options as well. I've heard that some of the agencies, I can't remember which one, but they currently are doing 6 months maternity for their female staff. I'm not sure, I think it's EPA. So I think that, all this, it's necessary for us to do this for humanity. What other research do we think that should be done? We think a diversity impact analysis should be done. This can convince more mining businesses to actually come on board and try and support the drive to employ more women in the sector. Gender value chain mapping should also be done. This could establish the number of women working in the sector, in what roles, etc. And a perception survey of what we all think of females working in the sector could also be helpful. And pay gap analysis. I think we should do that as well. So when I look at a simple mine cycle, and I'm standing here, I know women who are working in different roles along the cycle. And so for me, it is not a question of whether women can do it or they cannot. They are doing it, but I think that our representation is not making any impact. So that's why I'm talking so much to increase so that we get more of them to come into the workforce. So my conclusion, I think that for us to achieve a difference and make Ghana one of the places where women are working in our sector, gender in extractives is a big thing and become like a best practice. I think that it will be a combination of these three things. Policy, that should be government, and then business commitment, and then in academia, a pipeline of professional women. You know, we should have a combination of the three. So here, I want to show you a few pictures, some of my favorite women in mining members. These are ladies haul truck drivers. So the change is here, but we don't have enough. Okay, so the future is here, the ladies are ready, and we want you to embrace us. Thank you.